In the last videos, we worked with data types, lists, tuples, and dictionaries. Now we need a way to make decisions based on data. That's where if, elif, and else come in. In Python, if else is used when you want code to run only if a condition is true. Think of it like asking a question about your data. If the answer is true, do this. Otherwise, do something else. This is common in data work, filtering records, checking values, applying rules, and validating data. Let's move to code editor for the first example. I am in an empty folder. Let's create a main Python file. I will initialize a variable price with a value of 300. Now add an if condition. If the price is more than 100, print product is expensive. Otherwise, print product is within price range. When we run the program, we should see product is expensive. Let's open the terminal and run the program using the command python main.py. As you can see, product is expensive is printed on the screen. Now let's update the price value to 50. This time we should see product is within price range. There is one more case we need to consider. What happens if the price is exactly 100? Since our condition checks for price greater than 100, a value of 100 will fall into the else block. So it will be treated as within range. If we want to treat 100 as expensive, we just need to update the condition. Instead of greater than, we will use greater than or equal to. Now when we run the program, the price will be treated as expensive in this case as well. Python uses indentation to understand nested code blocks. So when we write an if statement, the logic that belongs to that if must be indented because it is part of the nested block. If we remove this indentation, the code editor will show an error. And even if we ignore that and try to run the program, Python will raise an error in the terminal. Let's say there are more than two cases. That's where we use elif. Elif works like else if in other programming languages. Let's understand this using the code editor. Suppose we are writing a program to assign grades based on a score. Assume a student has a score of 82. We define these rules. If the score is more than 90, grade A. If the score is more than 80, grade B. If the score is more than 70, grade C. Otherwise, fail. Python checks these conditions from top to bottom. First, it checks whether the score is more than 90. For 82, this is false, so Python moves to the next condition. Next, it checks whether the score is more than 80. This is true, so grade B is printed. The remaining conditions are skipped. Now let's change the score to 91. The first condition, score greater than 90, is true. So grade A is printed and no further checks happen. Next, change the score to 81. Python again checks from the top. More than 90, false. More than 80, true. So grade B is printed. Now let's try an edge case with a score of 70. Python checks more than 90, false. More than 80, false. More than 70, false. Because the condition uses greater than. A score of exactly 70 does not match. So the program moves to the final else block and prints fail. This is why condition boundaries matter when using elif. Let's take a string example. Assume we are receiving the payment status from a payment API. For now, we will hardcode the value as paid. If the status is paid, the program should print order confirmed. Otherwise, it should print payment pending. One important thing to notice here, equal to is used to assign a value to a variable. Double equal to is used to compare two values. So in this line, status is equal to paid. We are assigning the string paid to the variable status, not comparing it. In this case, we are checking the payment status. Since the status is paid, the program should print order confirmed. Now let's test the same logic with unpaid. In this case, the if condition will fail and payment pending will be printed. Now let's understand operators. We will start with the double equal to operator. It is used for equality comparison. For example, assume the score is 5. If we use the condition score double equal to 5 inside an if statement, the condition will pass because 5 is equal to 5 and passed will be printed. If we use any value other than 5, the condition will fail. Let's try with 6. Since we don't have else block, the program will not print anything. Now let's try with 4. The condition will still fail and again nothing will be printed. Now let's move to the not equal to operator. It is the opposite of double equal to. If we update our condition to check score not equal to 5, the program will print passed when the score is not equal to 5. If the score is 5, the condition will fail. Since we don't have an else block, nothing will be printed. For any score other than 5, the condition will pass and passed will be printed. Now let's move greater than operator. In the current example, if we change the condition to score greater than 5, if the score is more than 5, for example 6, the condition will be true and passed will be printed. If the score is 5, the condition will fail because 5 is not greater than 5, so nothing will be printed. The same applies to any value less than 5. The condition will fail and nothing will be printed since there is no else block. Now let's move to the less than operator. In this example, we change the condition to score less than 5. If the score is 4, the condition is true, so passed will be printed. If the score is 5, the condition will fail because 5 is not less than 5, so nothing will be printed. If the score is greater than 5, the condition will also fail and nothing will be printed since there is no else block. Now let's move to greater than equal to operator. If we change the condition to score greater than equal to 5, it works like the greater than case, but it also includes the equal value. If the score is 5, the condition is true, so passed will be printed. If the score is 6, the condition is also true and passed will be printed. If the score is 4, the condition will fail and nothing will be printed since there is no else block. Now let's move to less than equal to operator. If we change the condition to score less than equal to 5, it works like the less than operator but also includes the equal case. If the score is 5, the condition is true, so passed will be printed. If the score is 4, the condition is also true and passed will be printed. If the score is 6, the condition will fail and nothing will be printed since there is no else block. We can also check whether a value exists inside data and use that check in a condition. Let's understand this with an example. First, we initialize a list of fruits: apple, banana, and orange. Next, we use an if condition to check whether banana exists in the list. Here we use the in operator. If banana is in the list, the program will print banana exists. Otherwise, it will print banana not found in items. This kind of check is very useful for feature checks. checking whether a column exists in data, and validating categories in a dataset. Now let's see common beginner mistakes. The first one is forgetting indentation. Python uses indentation to understand which lines belong to an if, elif, or else block. If indentation is missing or incorrect, Python cannot understand the structure and throws an error. Next, using equal to instead of double equal to. Equal to is used to assign a value to a variable. Double equal to is used to compare two values. Using equal to inside an if condition is a common beginner mistake and will cause an error. Next, wrong condition order in elif. Python checks conditions from top to bottom. If a broader condition comes before a more specific one, the specific condition may never run. This can lead to incorrect results even though the code runs. And the last one is expecting multiple blocks to run. In an if-elif-else chain, Python executes only the first condition that evaluates to true. Once a block runs, the rest are skipped. That's why only one block runs in an if-elif-else chain. Now let's wrap up. In this video you learned what if-else does, how Python checks conditions, how elif works, real example with numbers, strings and lists, and common mistakes to avoid. In the next video, we will use if-else inside loops to process multiple data points automatically. That's where real data handling starts. Thanks for watching. I am Aksa Zafar and on MLTude, I teach data science and machine learning in a simple step-by-step way. Practice a little and I will see you in the next video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to MLTude for more AI and machine learning tutorials.